uncle's here. I'll let him introduce him, and then he's going to read you your book. So give him the rest. The sitting ears. Make sure you're sitting next to somebody who's going to encourage you to be quiet.
It's a long ways coming. Where am I?
Santa.
Okay.
My great uncle Santa.
Right. It's the truth. Well, I suppose you'd all like to hear about the book. Yeah. Well, it goes like this. As you can imagine, the North Pole Post Office is a very busy place at Christmas. Special requests from children all over the world must be carefully noted and delivered to Santa. That's me. Sometimes the post office becomes a blizzard of letters, and it is all everyone can do to see that nothing gets lost. The one Christmas letters piled up so high that a sneeze caused an avalanche that buried the postmaster elf completely. He was covered right up. And then he, guided by his squeals, the helper elves worked the whole day to dig him out. They had to get him out of the blizzard. Of course, no one is busier at Christmas than Santa Claus. That's me. But somehow he always finds time to do everything that has to be done, especially one of his favorite Christmas jobs, reading the letters that he receives from you guys. Did you send letters to me this year?
I did.
Good job. All right.
No.
And did you get what you asked for?
Yeah.
Well, I try to get most all of them, but sometimes it happens. I run out of certain things. Yeah, it happens. Even Santas can't make enough dolls, trains, soldiers, and teddy bears for all the children in the world by himself. He needs a lot of helpers. That's what all the elves do. Yeah, they make the toys. But he makes sure the toys from his North Pole factory are splendid and fun to play with, as those made in Amsterdam. Does anybody know where Amsterdam is? It's what?
I was there.
Yeah, but where is it? Okay.
I'm gonna take a guess. I think it's up north.
Yeah, it would be north. Yeah. It's in the Netherlands. That's a place you probably don't know too much about. They have windmills there, I think, yeah. All right, let's see here. How? By playing with them. Where were we? Oh, well, anyways, Santa calls his testing. Oh, this is testing. That's what they do over in the Netherlands. At Amsterdam, they test the toys, make sure they work all right. You all got your toys all worked, didn't they?
Yes.
Good.
No, mine.
Yours didn't?
Some of them didn't.
Really? How come they didn't get batteries? That's what happens. Sometimes the batteries don't get. Yeah. Mhm. It didn't work, the doll? How can a doll not work? They either got legs or arms that move, or they don't do nothing.
The one leg and the two arms work, but the other leg didn't.
Only had one leg and two arms?
So one goes
Oh, you have to limp. All right, but Mrs. Claus knows better. You never grow up, Nicholas, she laughs. And when she comes home carrying a toy or two, then he explains what's special about each one. Like snowflakes and children, no two toys are alike, just like a snowflake. You know about snowflakes, didn't you? Yeah, no two are alike. They're all there. Yes.
Can we see the picture?
Oh, yeah, well, you can.
Thank you.
This is where they
Ooh.
make all the toys. See how the elves are making them. Yeah. Okay, now we gotta go to the next page. This one looks like Da Vinci. He's painting. He has lots of other elves that paint too. They put the stripes on the trains and yeah. And they color pictures. Sometimes we don't color them, though, we just leave them for you to do. The North Pole Toy Factory includes the book and card workshop. Well, that's it. They make the cards and stuff for Christmas cards. Yeah. And then the elves make all the cards that accompany the Christmas gifts. They also write and illustrate. You know what illustrate means?
Yeah.
What is it? You.
It's where you draw.
I can't hear you.
It's where you draw.
Just draw.
Oh.
Now illustrate means, go ahead.
Will you draw a picture?
No, not it. How about you?
Will you do the drawing book?
No, you keep talking about drawing. There's words on there too. That's illustrating. Yeah, the words, I think. That's now then, let's see what else make the cards in the company. Oh, and they accompany the Christmas gifts. See, we put a little tag on there. It says Merry Christmas from Santa. That's what they say. And then, like the one you are reading right now. Ooh. In fact, their favorite subject is the story of Santa and Christmas Land. Where is Christmas Land? Where?
The North Pole.
That's right. East Shore. Oh, and there's where they make all the cookies.
Wow.
They make lots of them at a time, don't they? Did you make cookies this year?
No. Yes.
No, yes?
No. No, we didn't. Oh no. Not
And
this
did you,
year.
wait a minute, did you make any cakes?
I didn't.
Because why do we need a cake? You got it. Did you put a candle on it too for it? Because that's right. You always do that on birthdays, don't you? So Jesus' birthday should be no different than any other. Would you believe all the cookies and jelly rolls and plum tarts and cupcakes for all the world's Christmas celebration could be made in one single night? Wow. Only the North Pole Bakery could do that. You should see the flour and the sugar fly. Flipping her all over, they get it all over themselves. And they sift and measure and stir. Of course, nothing leaves the bakery without the chief tester elf giving it the taste test. Sometimes I do a little too. By the end of the night, he's dizzy from all the treats he sampled. It's a hard job, he says, but someone's got to do it. All right, then, let's see here. What is this place? My goodness, it looks like a bunch of, what is that? You think so? I thought it maybe looked like some of those animals that crawl around. Maybe not. Snails, I thought it was. But they're pretty big snails. Let's see. There's only one place in the North Pole that's sweeter than the bakery. You got it. It's the Candy Caves. The elves discovered them in one day when they were prospecting. You know what prospecting is?
No.
It's like looking for gold. They're looking for it. And they're looking for gold, and all of a sudden they discovered all these candies. Beneath all the ice was the chocolate brook that gurgled up through the rock candy cliffs and flowed through Sugar Valley. You know where Sugar Valley is? I think it's by Eden Valley. It's up by St. Clair. And then where the elves found lollipop flowers, gumdrop bushes, and candy cane trees growing. The elves built the Jelly Bean Trail, which winds up Marzipan Mountain. Why, that's a funny name, Marzipan. Sounds French, doesn't it? Began mining the caves. The candy they harvest each year goes to the children all over the world. And now you know where all your Christmas stocking candy comes from, right? Yeah. And then why visions of sugar plum dance in your head after you're tucked into bed on Christmas Eve. And here's the packaging department. That's Elmer. He's the packaging chief, and he has lots of helpers. All the finished toys, cards and candies and confection wind up at the North Pole gift wrapping workshop, where elves wrap each present with patterned papers and colored bows and then tie on special hand-painted cards. The workshop is a flurry of activities, and the scissors are snipping, paper rustling, and ribbons twirling. Sometimes I run out of paper, and I use the Sunday funnies from the paper. Is that all right? They're colorful. Yeah, we'll keep doing that if we have to. The elves must be clear. They must also clearly mark the destination of each package so that Santa can see it easily. What is the destination? What? The place where it's gonna go, right? Yeah. And there's no time for hunting around in the bag while the sleigh is perched on a steep, snowy rooftop. You gotta know where that stuff is. Now here's where we keep the reindeers and a few other assorted animals. Okay. As the Christmas Eve gets closer, Santa's 8 reindeers gets extra helpings of oats, apples, and carrots. And that's Rudolph's favorite, is the carrots. He likes the little baby ones, but don't let them freeze now. Keep them so that, because if he bites them and they're frozen, what happens? He breaks his teeth. Yeah, we wouldn't want, that could be bad to have a reindeer with a sore tooth. Then let's see here, Rupert. Yeah, I remember Rupert. He's the reindeer keeper elf. He tends to the reindeer and sometimes even sleeps in their stable at Christmas nears. Rupert, he was in, what's that country? It's a European country. Anyways, that's where he came from. He came from Europe. Let's see, his job is to see that Santa's reindeer are ready for their all-important Christmas mission. Oh, did you know that I have 2 sets of reindeer? I also have another 8 reindeer that I keep in Australia. Because when I get to Australia, they gotta fly upside down, and these guys are so tired, it's hard to do. So I have a fresh team down in Australia that fly upside down. Yes. Elves, I recruit them. I look for people and little boys and girls that their ears are quite big like that, stick out, and then their toes curl up. Is there, you could maybe be. Well, I'm recruiting elves all the time. If you want to volunteer, it's all the cookies you can eat. It ain't a bad life. You think about it, let me know. You only have to go 7,000 miles straight north. Well, you wouldn't get home too often. All right, all year long, the reindeer practice flying and landing, but mostly landing. You see, flying is easy for them, but landing, that's another matter, especially if there's no snow. Because then, them reindeers, when they try to stop, and when the sleigh comes, there's so many sparks, I'm afraid it's going to catch on fire one of these days. Yeah, so we got to have snow, a lot of it. So let's see, especially when they are pulling a sleigh piled high with presents. So what do? Practice. Practice makes perfect, right? Yeah. Every day and even after dinner, no matter what building you're in, you can hear thump, 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 thump overhead as the reindeer practice landing on the roofs at Christmas land. Yep. Oh, let's see. Oh, that's the sleigh, isn't it? I have a sleigh for Christmas time. Otherwise, this time of year, I use my Santa-mobile. Because, again, there's no snow. I can't land. Got to have a lot of snow. Certain elves have the very special job of caring for Santa's sleigh, the magical gift that the King of the king of the Laps. Laps? Oh, those are people that live in Lapland. That's where he's from, Lapland. It's up by Sweden. Just before the big trip, they make sure it's in perfect condition. They wax the runners, that's important. Oil the harness. What's the harness? What?
Is it something that you put on?
Yep, put it on the reindeer and you oil it so it stays nice and soft. Otherwise it gets hard as a rock, like a fish in the sun. It just gets stiff, it's no good. Polish the bells and plump up Santa's pillow. Of course, that's important. Along with the Christmas route, Santa makes sure that the lucky child or two will catch a glimpse of his sleigh. The delight on their faces remind him of the faces of the little orphan boys in Amsterdam from years ago.